Welcome. My name is Sandra Corrado, Integrative Wellness Coach, and joining me today is Rita Marrari, Health and Wellness Coach. This is part 2 of our conversation that we had a few weeks ago with respect to tips on dealing with stress. So Rita, thank you so much for scheduling this with me. I know we had a few times where we had to reschedule, but I'm glad this worked out. Why don't you start off with some tips that you find helpful in a day?
Thank you so much, Sandra. I'm so honored to be here again with you. And I've been looking forward to being here again. And yeah, it's been crazy with scheduling. You know what, guys, as a mom of twin boys and having them online, dealing with the stress of just getting them set, getting them to do your homework, this and that, my stress levels have been to the 9. So, you know, I find that, Sandra, if our glass, our personal glass isn't full and we're running on like barely any fullness to that glass, we're really not any value to ourselves or anyone around us, right? Mm-hmm. So the other day, actually yesterday, I was just really stressed out, and I needed to escape. So that's what I did. I put them on their computers. I went upstairs. I washed my face. I put a nice mask on. I put some big comfy pillows on the floor. I laid there and I just did nothing for 30 minutes. And when I came back down, they were all wondering where I was. And I'm like, oh, I was just relaxing. And I felt so much better because I took that time for me, right?
That sounds so relaxing.
Yeah.
I can just envision that.
You know, just a mental de-stress. I didn't think about anything. I just kind of closed my eyes and I was just with me, right? One other thing that I actually started doing, because I mean, as much as we as parents and adults are stressed with the pandemic and everything that's going on, our kids are stressed, right? Like our kids are having a hard time, I'm sure. And we need to kind of keep that line of communication open with them. So one thing I started doing with the kids is I bought them their own journals. And I've been journaling for a while, and I find that that's been helping me a lot. And these journals are great. We do it together as a family at night after dinner, and we just kind of go through it. And with the kids one, it's kind of cool because they just have to circle smiley faces as to how they felt, and they get to draw a picture about how their day was. And it's great. I love it. They're loving it. They look forward to it. They're asking me questions, and they are actually looking for that family time together, which is cool. Mm-hmm. And my last thing that I've actually started doing with the kids is I started taking them outside. We don't put our shoes on. We ground. So we take off our shoes and we run in the grass, and we just kind of get back in touch with nature. And I mean, I'm sure, you know, a lot of people are aware of earthing and what earthing is all about. And quite honestly, we've lost that as a human, just as a population. We've lost that connection. You know, we all wear shoes, we have rubber. So that abundance of electrons from the earth, we're not taking advantage of that, right? So if you can get outside and take your shoes off and connect with the earth, allow those electrons to come into your body. Those electrons are the most powerful source of antioxidants, and that's going to help to reverse free radical damage in our bodies. It's been known to reduce anxiety, grounding and earthing. It's helped, you know, if you've had a surgery, they say that if you go outside and you ground, it helps with that speedy recovery of surgery. So many benefits to grounding. So those are a few things that I've actually put into high gear this last couple of weeks as we're entering, I don't know, Sandra, like week 10 of online learning. I've lost track now.
I love that grounding exercise. I actually saw your post with respect to walking on the grass. And I can vouch for that. It feels so good to walk on grass because we're typically in shoes or slippers. Even during the summer, we might have flip-flops, but there's that rubber underneath, or or the leather that we're walking on, and we've lost touch with the earth. What I have done, which touches on this, is I have a ritual, a daily ritual that I do. And it may change. Some days I might do a little bit more, some days a little bit less. But I start off with some essential oils. There's a couple that I put on daily, and then I might add or maybe less. So that is where I start off my base. Then I set an intention for my day. So how I would like it to flow. So I envision how I'd like it to flow. I may not have all the details, but just that I'd like to feel, resourceful, that I'd like to feel and be productive, that I have a smile during the day. And also in my mind, I'm envisioning that even if there's a challenge, that I reframe that challenge as, okay, this is going to be a learning experience for me. What am I going to be learning? And I've been resilient in the past. Up until now, I've lived until now with stress or stressful events or challenging events, and I've successfully overcome them all. So that is an intention that I set daily. I also do an envisioning exercise. So when you were talking about walking on the grass, we're energy. So we're surrounded by energy. The earth and also the sky or around us, we're surrounded by energy. So I imagine, I call it Mother Earth energy that's coming up in through my feet and then coming through the legs and then coming down a grounding cord. And I'm fully grounded with the earth. I'm taking in that energy. And then also anchored by, however you would like to call it, divine energy or cosmic energy. And that imbues or infuses in my body and then creates an umbrella as it comes out from my crown chakra. And that is my safe space, or the area that I've got control over. And I can allow whatever into my space. I can choose to take in information, or I can choose not to. I can choose to interact with individuals or not to. It's my safe space. At the end of the day, I found it very helpful to revisit my day briefly, to look at, what did I accomplish, perhaps what I didn't accomplish, and rather than saying, you know what, bad me, didn't do it, can it be done tomorrow? Was it 100% necessary? And most of the times it's just me putting pressure on myself that I want to get XYZ done, and noticed, you know what, the day did not get destroyed as a result of not getting a certain thing done, but also having a plan for doing it, and also reevaluating. Sometimes I take things off of my agenda too. At the end of the day, I'll notice that really wasn't important, so I can take the pressure off myself. One big thing that I do is when I'm feeling stress or going through a period of stress, I like to get down to the bottom of what exactly is stressing me out. So for instance, asking, am I feeling shame or guilt about something? Is that driving this feeling of stress or anxiety or worry? Is there something perhaps from the past that is being triggered today? Is there a belief? What is the belief behind, say, an event that's happening or how I'm interpreting my day? Is there belief around that? Is it that I'm lacking a skill, or that I'm not good enough? Whatever it could be. Those are just some examples. Is there a fear of the future? Those are just some examples of belief. And once I've had a chance to determine it, sometimes it may take just some silent introspection. Sometimes it's making some notes. I may not figure it out right away, but I do have some tools that I use. And once I start asking the questions and using the tools, I can determine, okay, that is behind the stress. That is the belief. And once I'm able to work through, I get a chance to shift my entire perception. And I also feel that I have higher energy once I've done that, because I'm no longer using, even if it's on an unconscious level, I'm no longer using or wasting energy worrying about it. I can free that up for me to be very mindful in my activities during the day. And I found that to be very, very helpful. Those are my two biggest tips. One, something that I learned when we're feeling stressed, or that unconscious stress of not knowing where we're going to go with it, we can be stuck in a sympathetic stage, which means fight or flight, fight or flight, fight or flight, and we don't get a chance to fill our cup. Like, you know how you said sneaking away to refill the cup? Well, if we don't get a chance to manage, it's more than just managing. It's discovering what's behind our stress. And it usually has to do with the viewpoint. There could be challenging circumstances. I'm not saying that they're not. But once we have a chance to see that we have the resources, or there's possible solutions, or people that we can talk with, we can really bring that stress level down. Doing all the different tips that we had discussed last time with the exercise and eating, etc., we can bring our stress levels down. And rather than staying stuck in that fight or flight, we can allow our body to do a reset. So in other words, the more we give our chance to sleep, and we build up the stores of energy and rest, then we can do a little bit of TikTok. If we have a little bit of stress, we're going to go into the fight or flight to deal with it, and then come back to a bit more balance. And when we're resting, we go into that parasympathetic, the restful healing phase. Otherwise, we're constantly here, and we're going to feel more exhausted, and we have no clue why. So those are a few things that over the years I've learned. And not to say that I don't go into stress mode, I do. But, you know, just like you said, there are times where you just sneak away or use tools that we've learned, and then we get a chance to share. So yeah, these are my top tips for today.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's so true. It's so true. And it's something that, like, I think people just don't even think, like, to sit down and say, like, where's this coming from, right? Like, and I think once you do that investigating, it's going to help. It's going to help a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I think we're ready for part 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
More tips.
I so enjoyed, you know, coming on and sharing the platform and just chatting with you. So yeah, anytime.
We will do that again. Thank you so much. Thank you for making yourself available, and we'll definitely do this again. So stay tuned, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, Sandra.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.